Hi guys, so in this video we're going to talk about the TPO charts that I use. So I have the daily chart, I have a weekly chart, I have a morning chart and an afternoon chart. The one you're looking at the moment is the daily. I'm just in this video going to basically highlight what the areas are, what each line is representing and that. I mean, I'm sure the majority of you already know this and can work it out, but in case there's some of you that are fairly new to order flow, you might not know. But basically, so these blue profiles here, this is your market profile. This is sort of time-based, and the one next to it here with the green sort of color, that's your volume profile. I always have both of them on the chart because most of the time the areas do match up, but sometimes, like there, we've pretty much got the point of control for the market profile, and then you've got the volume point pretty much in the same area. But other times they can, for example, here they're pips apart. So on this market profile, you've got your point of control, and then literally, I don't know, 15, let's call it 15, 20 pips difference is your volume point of control. So I always have both of the profiles up because I like to monitor every single area when prices come into them as a possibility for profit taking or an opportunity to get into the market with a position. So basically, market profile, and then the green one is the volume profile. The horizontal lines here is your value area high. The horizontal line at the bottom, that's your value area low. You've got your orangey colored line here, that's your POC. When it's fully extended like this, that I call that like a naked POC because it's not been touched yet. Quite often on naked POCs, when price does come up to them, you do see some sort of reaction. So if you're in a position already, you could be looked to possibly start taking profits, or you could even look and check other confluences such as order flow, you know, with footprint, DOM, look at your VWAPs and that, and see if there's an opportunity to get a position in where you could perhaps, you know, short off there, or you could perhaps trade through it. So that's what I use these POCs for. Value area highs and lows, same principle. Price comes up to like a value area high. I'm always looking to possibly take out some profits, and at the same time I'm looking at footprint and things like that. And I'm also, in the past, I've been a supply and demand trader for years, so I'm aware, looking at candlestick charts, where sort of you can find zones, if you want to call it that, where you might anticipate some sort of reversal or something. And if these value area highs and value area lows and POCs, and as I'll get to in a minute, single pins, if they match up with any of my knowledge of supply and demand trading, then, you know, it's extra confluence at the end of the day. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm sure you know all about these value areas. Dotted blue lines, these are single print areas. The way I look at it and sort of like to think of single print areas is where the market and the bigger time frame sort of investors get heavy in the market and add to their orders, and the market just zips through. So quite often when that happens and price comes back up to these single print areas, you can see some sort of reversal. I mean, for example, here you see we've got a single print area, and if I can open up this profile, so price traded down, we came back up to the single print, couldn't break it. So these investors that were short in the market here were defending their positions, and again came back up, tested, couldn't break it. These investors were, you know, absorbing all the buyers, so they're just sitting there absorbing all those orders. Again, we came up, tested it, couldn't break it, and then look, we then just sold off. Let's open up this profile, and then look, we just sold off all the way down to, and guess where? Another single print area. So just when you get to single prints and price comes back to revisit them, just be aware that, you know, you could see some sort of reaction there. So again, same principle. If you're in a position and you've got profits, look to take some profits off the table there, or you can always look as well, which I quite often do, look to see, again, you'd use footprint and DOM and everything, it's all very basic. It's no rocket science to this. There's no magic formula. Again, you can just analyze the order flow and see if there's an opportunity to get short or get long, depending where the single prints are on the profile. So that's basically all I use on these profiles. You can merge profiles. If I do merge, it's mainly just, in all honesty, on the daily charts. So you can merge them to try and find a nice distribution. I mean, yeah, I'd probably consider, well, yeah, you can see actually, I would consider that, because this value area low was respected to the pip. But also you've got to remember, on your volume profile, where green becomes black, there's a value area low there as well. There's a high volume node as well. So again, you have to use all these areas, not setting gospel, but you just got to be aware of them. That's what I'm trying to say. And volume profile POC is the short red line. I thought I better mention that as well. So that's pretty much the daily profiles. Let me just undo all these merges. That's back to normal. We'll go to the weekly chart now. Right, so here's the weekly chart, and same principle applies. So every one of these profiles is a week in duration. You've got value area high, which is the horizontal line there, value area low, and then you've got the yellow line here, that's your volume POC, and still on this profile they're miles apart, and on this orange line here, that's your market profile POC. All right, so if I split this out, you can see it easier. This is your volume profile. I've got it set as a histogram, and yellow line, volume POC, value area high, value area low, and there's your market profile POC. Every one of these different colors obviously represents a day. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, let me just put that back to normal. What I look for on the weekly is the POCs, point of controls, that's what it means. And again, quite often when price comes to like a point of control, you see a reaction. So I'm always looking at order flow when we get around to that sort of area. Let's see, we traded down to the point of control, or point of control and value area low. It's very similar in terms of pips apart, and we just got instantly, we got bounce from there. So got rejection straight back, and we traded back up. So I always, I mean, nothing's set in stone, so don't just trade these blind, whatever you do. You need to have other confirmation and be a bit patient, but just be aware where these levels are. And the same for value area highs and value area lows. You want to keep an eye on those, because we quite often see reactions from there as well. Same applies for single prints, which are these dotted lines. These are your weekly single prints. They quite often get filled, and you might see a reaction around there. I mean, in this was last week's profile, and I've got a trade in here. I think I might have posted this on my Instagram. So we've got POCs, got value area highs, and what isn't highlighted, you have to look out for these, which are like high volume nodes. So here is like just screaming out, there's something, this could be a like a support area, if you want to call it that, sort of a demand zone, because a lot of activities took place here in the past. So I would draw a little block out from an extending rectangle from the high of the node to the bottom of the node, and as we can see, it reacted straight within that area. So that would be like a demand zone. I would then have that highlighted, and then when price came into that area, I'd be looking at my daily TPOs, my morning TPOs, or my afternoon TPOs, depending what time price was reaching this area, and seeing if there's sort of something I could key off within that area to get a bit of a tighter entry, alongside using your again, footprint and DOM. So that's what I would use that for. So I'm always mindful of significant volume POCs, if you want to call it that. So that's pretty much your weekly chart. we go on to the dailies. So this is your morning chart. So this is set from 7 a.m. till 12 p.m. midday. This is GMT, obviously. So I use these in conjunction with my daily chart because quite often I find if I'm trading in the morning and if we get a reaction from the daily chart, if I'm looking at the daily chart, I should say, the daily TPO, and price reacts from an area what is just not logical, I can't find any reason, you know, there's no high volume nodes and such or nothing like that. If I use this in comparison with it, you can see quite often we've got single prints, but we've got loads of other POCs going on. And there's quite often, if you like go into a microscopic level, you find levels which you won't see on the daily. So again, you can find levels to key off and find trades, and they're always respecting. You can see like this profile here in the morning respected a single print here, and it also respected this value area high here. This one respected single print here and came down to this single print here. This one respected this single print here. I mean, I don't see many other people trading like this, but I use them, you know, just to stack extra confluences in my favor, and also find hidden levels where, you know, perhaps again I could profit take and the market straight away reverses, and other people would be looking at the daily profile scratching their head going, well, why has that just done that? But it's always a logical reason why. It just respects the levels so, you know, so well. You can see for yourself. I mean, it's just there in plain sight to see, isn't it, really? Yeah, anyway, so that's what I use the morning one for. We'll now go on to the afternoon one. And again, same principle applies when it gets, and also, this is going to be a bit complicated, on the morning TPO. Let me just minimize this. When we're coming up, say it's about 11:30, and if the market's moving in a certain direction, I'll then flick to the midday profile, the afternoon profile, and I know at 12 o'clock, quite often, price reaches an area and opens an area of interest, such as the value area high, value area low, pop, single print. So I can use that if I'm in a trade already, I can use that as confluence to see at 12 o'clock where price is likely or possibly going to be reaching, and I know sort of have a target then for scaling out some profits. But don't worry if this completely confuses you. I'll go into this in my Discord when I get that up and running, or in another video at another time, and I'll go a bit more in depth into that. But that's basically what you can use that for. And as I say, and 12 o'clock till 10 p.m, that's what this afternoon profile is, and same principle applies. I use it in conjunction with the daily chart to find other levels which you might not necessarily know are there. So it's just like a bit of a, I like to call it a bit of secret sauce, where you can find levels other people might not be looking for, if that makes sense. And I think that is about it for this video. I just wanted to give a very rough outline as to what is what within the charts, and a very rough idea of how to use them. Obviously, if you are completely new to volume profiles and market profiles and auction market theory, I suggest you get a course and do a bit of swatting up, so you kind of know the basics of it. But the purpose of this video anyway, I wish to show you how I set my charts up. Hope that helps anyway, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.